Baoni, como tu ta? What is good, my people? I am back. I've been saying that in every video because I am back. And I'm excited to be making content. It's been 2 weeks, so I'm just happy to be back here in front of the camera for you guys. But today we're going to be reacting to Akala, Fire in the Booth Part 2. I still have to do Part 3, and I can't recall if there's a Part 4. Gotta look into that, but I just think it's 3. I might be wrong though, because I know, yeah, I might be. There might be a Part 4. We'll see though. But yeah, this is the second freestyle in the saga for Akala, Fire in the Booth. Looking forward to the bars. He is, guys don't know who Akala is, for especially my US people. He's a conscious rapper, and yeah, he's his lyricism is pretty mad. But you know, we'll see what he's doing in Part 2. Without further ado, let's get into it. Dale.
You're gonna dig this.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Call it, brother. You know what time it is when you hear this, right?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yo, Akala.
Wow.
Knowledge is power. Volume 1 mixtape, 28th of May. Listen, akalamusic.com.
Chase.
Tiny.
And this freestyle was it's 11 years old, which is crazy.
Bit more vocal, please.
His last one was actually was older, but it was pretty, if I'm remembering correctly, it was pretty relevant to like the current day, which I thought to be interesting. Let's see what this one's about though.
Actually, listen, knowledge is power always. Listen.
And I agree, knowledge is power.
The scam, brother, the scam!
Oi, mate, my personal life's great. Some of you would love me more if I rub that in your face. Okay, well, let us run down the resume and have a little chat about Akala's living today. Big whip, nice yard, been all over the globe. Look how many continents that I have done. Shows, couple little companies, neat little office, everything going swell. Little bit of profit, built a business educating kids from the...
So Akala's rhyme scheme and rhyme pattern, for me, is very like old school hip hop. Which actually, yeah, it's old school hip hop, and I would say it's relevant to the time of 11 years ago, when rap was sort of more conscious and more about lyricism versus today, which is like more so about creating vibes for people to listen to. And you can make your argument like, you know, in order to be a rapper, you need to like have a strong pen. Or you can make the argument as, you know, in order to be a successful rapper, like you need to be able to sell a lot of records, have a lot of streams. Like that's what success is. Like, I don't know which camp you fall into, but you know, you guys can fight it out in the comments about that. But for me, where I sort of, I don't want to say I'm riding the fence here, but like where I sit is like, I think there's like 2 camps. In order to be a great lyricist, you need to have a strong pen. And if your goal is to be like the best rapper, like you need to have a strong pen. If your goal is to sell out a record, make a lot of money, I think that you're more of like a pop star that just like happens to use rap as his medium, their medium, in order to like achieve that goal. And that's just like what pop music is to me. It's just like a money machine. A money machine that's just primarily used to like create vibes for people to listen to create like replayable music and music that you can just, you know, listen to on repeat essentially. But that's where I am. In order to be a great lyricist, in my opinion, a great rapper, you need to like have a very strong pen, and Akala has that.
The block, so far as I'm concerned, you gotta be a mug to not rate him. Own my own masters, still my own master. Novels and scripts on the way. Rap is just a...
So that's a bit of a play on words there. He owned his own masters, and he's his own master. Like he's his own boss. So Because he's his own boss, he owns his own master. So that's just like a double entendre play on words right there.
Part of the genius in his head, and he knows it, dickhead. Since I used to kick ball for West Ham with my big head. Back in school days, wearing hand-me-downs from my sister, and gal was still onto man. Now that's some Ross charisma. As just a nipper, I took my first pull of Rizla. And who you think gave me that? Yeah, my bigger sister. So when we speak of struggle, cousin, it's yours. You know the same old madness. Working class poor, yeah. So may have won a couple awards. I guarantee you that my family just as messed up as yours. All the abuse and the alcoholism and drug addiction. Uncles going to prison. This is working class living in Britain. It ain't great. You gotta be kidding.
So I'm learning about his life. He comes from a working class family. That didn't have a perfect upbringing. There was alcoholism within the house. His uncle went to prison. He lives in the UK. So already I'm learning more about. Well, I wouldn't say I'm learning more about his life than I did in the other song, but like he's painting a more vast picture of what it was like for him to grow up.
Please don't ever get confused by me spitting, cause yes, I said the ghetto's in our head, but no, I didn't mean if you live next to a food yard, let that's in your dreams. I meant believing in the madness they spout about us is far more dangerous than putting us in council houses. So yeah, I criticize, but from a place of love, never, ever, cause I think that I've become above every young.
That's fair. So like, so he's not, okay, so the way what I'm getting is that like, yeah, he's talking about like, the hood, and he's painting it in a not the best light, but he's speaking about his experience truthfully, because like he wants to be an agent of change, and he's coming from a place of love, tough love, in order to like bring awareness as well as be an agent of change, which is not a bad thing.
Madness they spout about us is far more dangerous than putting us in council houses. So yeah, I criticize, but from a place of love, never, ever, cause I think that I've become above every young brother you wanna judge as a tug. It's me, man, that's a little guidance and love, so I think
I like the way you said thug is funny. Hold on, we gotta run it back.
In us in council houses, so yeah, I criticize, but from a place of love, never, ever, cause I think that I've become above every young brother you wanna judge as a tug. It's me, man.
As a tug. So like this is where like accents come into play. So people in the US might have heard that like and not understood what he was saying, because like he's saying you want to judge every young brother as a tug, and like we would say thug. So like tug, it means something else for us. So you could have took that bar completely differently just based on like his pronunciation of the word thug. So that's why like for people that like listen to like UK music, like you really have to like listen very carefully, especially if you're not used to hearing people with accents. And even in the US, like there are areas in the US, especially the South, that have very, very thick, strong accents where people don't understand what they're saying. So you have to just like listen carefully, so that way you're not missing any bars or misinterpreting what somebody's saying.
And that's a little guidance and love, so I think that you're the mug. And why be smug when it's an
tug, mug. Okay, I like the rhyme scheme so far.
Actual fact, we all commit crime simply by paying tax. Cause we didn't go and tickle them people in Iraq and ask them so politely for all the minerals we extract. We blew children's heads off, set fire to backs. We're a gangster nation, get down and you get clapped. So when you see the youth them running around on the road with heaters, don't be surprised, they're just copying their leaders. Long as the wars stay in place.
That's a bar right there. Like, that is a bar right there. And if you break that down, it's actually pretty sad. So like you're emulating people that you shouldn't be emulating. And you really, I mean, like consciously, like he's a conscious rapper, like making me think like you shouldn't be surprised if people run around with Blicks and all that stuff. So
justice that are brown and poor. We can all pretend to be abhorred, but we applaud. If you go up to Knightsbridge and get violent, the policeman at Duppy's, you will probably get knighted. If I don't wanna fight you, cuz it ain't cause I'm frightened. I'd just rather fight with those who really think they're titans.
Perfect.
I ain't scared of bleeding, I am scared of breathing another breath in this world where everything is so uneven. When millions murdered in the Congo when it's barely.
So okay, that's the bar too. So essentially, he's saying that like he's not afraid to die for what he believes in, and he would rather not be on this earth if he continues to live in an environment where like it's not he's not treated as an equal. And I think that if you do have a cause, like that's sort of like how you have to be. You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out if you have a cause, because essentially like you're not gonna affect any change.
News, but if a footballer's wife should buy a pair of shoes, I'm supposed to give a apparently I do not. The world's a reflection of your block, and if you think a world that profit from their death and be totally cool thinks you're better cause you live here, you're a bloody fool. Look around at genocidal abuse, I swear humanity ain't nothing but a virus with shoes. Then I pick my nephew up from school and I look at the youths and see the love they show each other, and I'm just so confused because they ain't learned yet what is their race or religion. So we're born unconditioned, but we learn to play our position in the system. Look what that does to our recognition of self. We grow suspicion of our own intuition. Now listen, Akala's sick, but he raps about racism too much. Could you imagine I gave a flying? Cause it's amazing how many wanna claim they love this music with no respect for the actual struggle that produced it. Did hip-hop not start in segregated hoods? Are them hoods not still segregated? So it's really good. Are the First Nation not still...
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of black and brown people in the ghettos, in the hood. Yeah, so like this is actually still relevant today. And it just shows like this was again 11 years ago. We as a society, just US, UK, have not progressed as much as one would have liked in a time span of like 11 years. Like, don't get me wrong, things definitely have changed and gotten a bit better, but like we still have such a long way to go. And the speed at which we're moving, it's at a crawl, to be honest. Like, ideally, it would be nice for it to be like sweeping changes. Like, if we're doing something on Monday, like on Tuesday, it's an immediate change. But like, you can't do that because like with change, it has to be incremental, and it has to be subtle. So that way, people, I guess, you allow people to adapt, but also to you allow, yeah, just more so for adaptation, I guess. But yeah, like if you're listening to like what he's saying, like it's it's still relevant to today. And again, this is an 11-year-old freestyle. 11 years old. Mad.
Still on reservations where the age of 46 is the average life expectation. And fellas, I wonder where the favelas have been suddenly knocked down and replaced with something better. If you got sense, you see fights are joined, and race, class and gender are sides of the same coin. So if you're really down for justice, whoever the people who suffers, whoever you are, I consider you my sister's brothers. But call it what it is, like Carlin or Bill Hicks. Not these patronizing left-wing little twits that ask me dumb shit on a superior tip and wanna act like cause I read I saw less violence as a kid. Don't make me an exception for your mental protection from accepting the madness in the system we are left in. That was the clearest thing to come of August events. All the closet bigots started speaking their minds again. So when a Jamaican or Asians misbehaving, of course it's because of their skin. Blonde hair kills a million people, that's just him. And it's entertaining, some people are so thick, but I prefer that than all of the fake grins, cause it's the only problem people claim they want.
Well, okay. So he is, I disagree with him when he said that people do things, or people, I agree with him that they say that people do things because hold on, let me make sure let's just go back. I want to make sure
again. So when a Jamaican or Asians misbehaving, of course we you left in. That was the clearest thing to come of August events. All the closet bigots started speaking their minds again. So when a Jamaican or Asians misbehaving, of course it's because of their skin. Blonde hair kills a million people, that's just him. And it's entertaining some.
Okay. Yeah, no, I take it back. I agree with him. Essentially, like when someone who he says is black or Asian, and I want to throw in Hispanic as well, indigenous, they're misbehaving because of their race. While if somebody is white with blonde hair, he's just a bad apple. He's he's not. It's not because he's white. He's just, again, like the black sheep, the bad apple. So I miss the first time I listened to it. I misinterpreted what he was saying, and I almost like didn't agree. But as a second listen through that bar, I 100% agree with what he's saying, and that still applies today as well.
People are so thick, but I prefer that than all of the fake grins. Cause it's the only problem. People claim they wanna solve, but don't actually wanna talk about how it evolved. You are told, this country really, really yours, sir? What they did to brown people did to their own poor first, and originally in the States. Working class whites were also enslaved, and no one talks about it today. Ever since the master came with the system of privilege made the...
So in the U.S., yes, well, they weren't slaves, I would say, as opposed to sort of like black people, African Americans in the U.S., but like the Irish, were treated, as not white. And if you look at the Chinese that were building the railroads, again, they were treated as poorly. I don't know when, you could also, like, Jews too, like, I don't know when the swap happened where all of a sudden they're included as white. But yeah, no, he's right. Well, in the US, he's not right, because it is talked about in history classes, at least when I grew up. That was something that was discussed in history books. But yeah, he is right, and I do agree.
Working whites, the overseers, mulattoes, the house. Cause put the darkest blacks in the field. That mind is with us still. $1 billion industry, skin cream and bleaching pills. And let's be honest, most people in my complexion to this very day still think they're better than the darker section. You say it's changed, then only educate me about Wilberforce, not about the Africans in Haiti who beat the armies of the British, Spanish and Napoleon.
Yeah, so colorism is a thing within the black community, but like I would say it's even worse within the Hispanic community. Like I'm not gonna broach this topic here because this is a reaction to Akala, but like he's spitting facts, like, and I cannot lie. But one thing that I would say, like the colorism within the black community, I think that is more so in the westernized cultures. So for like black people that like live in the U.S., live in the U.K., I would say like it's worse in, like you said, like field slaves and house slaves. So like I definitely would say like it's worse in the West, but like I never experienced that, like from my Nigerian side of the family. I did experience colorism like on the Hispanic side of the family, but that's just what it is. I do experience like other things on the Nigerian side, like being like in a gata. So that's like Nigerian is born abroad. Essentially, like, I never took that as an insult because it is what it is. I just took it as like it's like a label. But some Nigerians that are born abroad do take that as an insult, like they're not, that they're not included within. They're separate. They are Nigerian, but like they're separate essentially. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent.
From the moment they stolen them, there was no controlling them. When I was in school, she said, no, you never fought for freedom. No, we freed you, and you were on your knees pleading. And what's more, did you know that we kind of saved you from the barbarism of Africa? You should be grateful when enough of our own people can't be bothered to read that they actually believed that we were swinging from trees. They don't know the Kingdom of Congo had embassies in Italy.
Yeah, so he's spitting facts. He is spitting facts. Like growing up, I don't think it's like that bad now, but like if growing up, I told people like I was Nigerian, it was like, oh, like 10 cents a day to feed a kid, or like or swinging from trees, or yeah. So like he is right. He is very, very right. He's making me sort of think about like my own childhood and growing up, and like how it applies to like what he's saying, and it's just very, very relevant.
500 years ago, literally ain't heard of St. Maurice nor Septimus Severus. They ain't studying the past cause they think it's irrelevant, and attempts at pretending ancient Egyptians weren't African. Nothing more than pseudo-intellectual lies. They obviously ain't read what Aristotle and Herodotus said about people that they saw for their own eyes. And Egypt's been invaded since the fall of the pharaohs. Not once, not twice, but many, many times. So nobody wants to explain why so many statues are missing noses, even when them statues made of granite. It ain't one people alone mistaught about themselves. We live on Celtic land, but don't learn about the Celts. The same Irish people you characterize as stupid during the Dark Ages, some of the most educated living in Europe. And did you learn the numbers you count with every day was invented by Indian people? I bet you didn't. Or how many million Indians fought for Britain in both world wars? Still you got the cheek to call them immigrants. We don't learn about the Moors, of course. For some that knowledge dangerous. Is it a problem, the impact they had on the Renaissance? When people take power over another group, we minimize their achievements so we can make it feel true. So if you think Columbus was first to sail ocean blue, you probably believe Elvis invented rock and roll too. And
So this is just like a common concept in history. Like the victors write the history books. It's just the way it is, just the way it's been. And I think that's the way it'll always be. Like the victors will always write the history books because they won. And they're never going to paint themselves in a bad light. But like it's just a fact of life. Do I agree with it? No, I think it should be told. History should be told in its entirety, in its totality. But I understand, like you want to sort of, in order to make people forget things. You just alter history, and then you teach that altered history, then all of a sudden the altered history becomes fact. So what is the truth in that case? It's like if the altered history is being taught and being said it's true and we all believe it, is that the truth, or is it fake? These are just like sort of like philosophical concepts that I always talked about in college. And I never knew where to land on this, because like ultimately, like if you believe something to be true, is it not true? And if you're taught this thing from a young child, so you learning throughout your adolescence into adulthood, like that is your truth.
the record, no doubt I believe in peace, but not for 1 second, and they'll turn the other cheek.
Oh my God, this video is going to be so long. It's already 23 minutes long.
They slap you, slap them back, take teeth. The only way your bully ever learn is getting beat. Fight, fire with fire, nah, fire with water. See, the life-giving force is stronger than the destroyer.
Ooh, that's a bar. Don't fight fire with fire, fight fire with water. That is a bar.
That's why these MCs can't speak to me. No, all men are not made equally. My brain's made of iron fiber, conducting the livest wire. My average grade's higher than Oxford or Cambridge require. I don't want credit because I got a message. I want credit because I'm the best MC. Dead it. When I came out way back in 04, sister, I just won every award. Most man would have done the bait thing, put big sis on the chorus chords. That would have been A-list draw. Quickly I would have been famous more, but look how I came in this thing raw. Bang up the streets some more. If I MC then I heard me rap, I'd be like, what the? I ain't never gonna be that good, so I better not push my luck, it will embarrass me. Only insanity would make you challenge me. Better hope if we bump heads, that day that I feel like charity. If not, it's a beating, and there ain't no use in search of a meaning. Cause all it means is that you are crap and I am a genius. Why I'm Panama, I push the perimeter, can you imagine? If I'm sicker than average, I kill him with character. went to Benjamin Banneker. Look at the marriage, the stamina damage, a boy from Britannica. Got to look for the whole of the calendar. So cold that I roll in the challenger. Why you man roll with the amateurs? I'm too much harder. You can just call him Father Akala, but I don't talk shit like a pastor. You already know that I'm smarter than half a bloody disaster. If I ever start, I'll probably a prodigy, make you a martyr for these crap MCs that mumble. Then see me in the flesh and crumble. Never told you that I was humble. No, I'm not. Don't lie. I'm so sure in my writing ability that I feel like I'm finding divinity. Sit down, let me rhyme a soliloquy.
Well, you said you were humble at the start of the song, Akala, so make up your mind, my guy.
My agility, time in this military. What scene guillotine for the mini-me? It seems you're a fiend for the mimicry. Your team couldn't dream of the synergy that I bring when I scheme when a wicked beat. There goes again with the big words with best syllables. Get your dictionaries out, that's what I'm about. Clowns wanna shout. Flash them, smash them in the mouth. Bloody professor, a man of the letters I read and I'm sure that I'm better. Never regret an endeavour to deaden an oppressor. I think that the lepers that think that their pleasures are better endeavours than all of our pressures. But see me, born in a rage. Maroon blood coursing my veins. As you can see, I was born for the stage, but I'll never be their cultural maid. Some say that we're political, is what they're doing isn't.
His rhyme scheme is so different than anything that's like out today. It's like a lost style of rapping. I want to like, it's just it's very old school. Like I don't want to say the equivalent of like a Run DMC, but it's very AB BA BA. It's very patterned. It's like, I want to say it's like scientific. It's very like methodical, like but it's not in a bad way, but like his rhyme scheme, you can sort of predict the line A to line A, skipping B and then B and B, like you can kind of predict how it's going to play out. And yeah, I would say it's less artistic and more scientific. It's very structured, very intelligent way of rapping, I would say. I think it's best. Better way to say it. It's an intelligent way of rapping that's very structured.
They preach a political doctrine called materialism, but for all the Italian clothes that you wear, or German cars that you drive, or French champagne that will buy, will still be monkeys in their eyes. So why you were begging it? Who knows? Italians fight to wear Jamaican clothes. Italians call their own women for everyone's entertainment, bro. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the one with the codes that flows all over the globe. I'm bunning down shows, but still don't oil my chest and pose a threat to the power structure. Not because we're anything special.
Yeah, it's like his rhyme scheme too is like very abrupt. So like there are rhyme schemes that are very like, wavy, very flowy. His rhyme scheme doesn't flow. It's like starts and stops, starts and stops, starts and stops, starts and stops. Again, not a bad thing. It's just like it's very unique. Like I've never in recent years heard anybody like rap this way. But this is an 11-year-old freestyle. So I'm assuming he's evolved his rapping. Maybe he hasn't. I don't really know. But it's very, very unique to anything that's out right now today.
But because,
and I mean that in a positive way, not in a bad way.
We're the people together, and that's the only way things change ever.
Oh my gosh. Akala just tore the building to pieces. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I just been schooled for a hot minute right there. Certain MCs, you know what? Like, I don't want to hear you. Don't call my phone. If you ain't coming to destroy a beat like that, don't call my phone or you're going to get a voicemail. Akala, wow.
Oh
I don't even know what to say.
Wow, man.
Yo, little story. Let's take him down. Yo,
I like this beat.
listen. Yo.
I know you gonna dig this.
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolute powerlessness does the same. Yeah, he's right. If you think about it, because like if you're powerless, like your goal would be to obtain power. So you're going to do everything that you can to gather like other powerless people in order to take down that powerful person. So yeah, you're right.
inequality we live with every day that will turn us insane. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day. Yo, listen. In a scheme of living, my life wasn't hard. But as far as Britain goes, I practically starved. Sleeping in a tracksuit, gas meter running out, electric cut off as well, candles lighting up the house. Looking in my mother's eyes, I see how she feels. The strain and the pain of just paying bills that ain't real. And that's how I grew, like so many more. And that was part of who I am very sure. You wanna know the rage I feel in my stomach? No, my mom and dad split up when I was still in her stomach. And not everything that happened I will put in 16s, but I will tell you enough so you will know what I mean. My boy's mother got cancer the same time as mine, but his mother died and mine survived. It was crazy back then. When I was like 10, already had the mental strength more than many grown men. This was a couple years after my stepdad left. Did he really know the crazy mess that he left? Because mum done recover from the lumps in her neck, but being poor and alone couldn't cope with the stress. My big sis fought, so much so, now I hadn't left school. When she left home, I was 13 by now, still a little kid, innocent. Next couple years though, will turn him to a militant. That is the result of no food in the fridge. And every other day you're getting searched by the pigs. Plus these patronizing teachers, though my grade sick, trying to emasculate me, yeah, turn me to a Anna. Don't mean a woman, please let me be clear. I mean a spineless man, because what do they fear? More than a working class brown male with a brain. When our energy is harnessed, everything changed. Look at Pac, look at Marley, look at Hendrix, look at Garvey. This is the potential that is wasted on a daily basis. A racist, classist world that we're living. Still we coming for nothing and we educate millions. I see why it scares you. It's like, how dare you overcome obstacles that we have been careful to place in your way every step of the way. In this so-called democracy where kids get sprayed, blacks and the Asians, Turks and the Chavs, crowded in council flats, living like ants. And who's more confused than so-called white trash, talking this madness about they want their country back? It never was yours. You should read more. What they did to brown people, they did to their own poor. But people's memory short, so much that I'm seeing black and Asian kids cuss Eastern Europeans. No pot to piss in makes competition. I fail to see how this is an effective system when cats and dogs in America and Britain eat better food than most of humanity, and we spend our technology only on killing. How is this more than sophisticated savagery? It was once said, the world is a stage, each person just an actor with a part to play, like the middle class kids and kids of the rich that have everything, but yet still they pissed on they coke and ketamine, strung out on. I ain't generalizing, look at the evidence, so go to Glastonbury any year, you will see. But unlike Carnival, it won't be crawling with police, this is London. The kids on the very next street had a very different life experience from me. And in my experience, they can't help but be smug after a lifetime of what.
It's very similar to New York as well. And I think most cities you could make that, well, yeah, I would say most major cities you can probably make that argument, like from block to block, it's different worlds.
They think's just good luck, but they're still more anxious and more thankless. Unearned privilege weighs like an anchor. That's why they copy what we do, trying to be what they not. They will grow up though and get better jobs and maintain a system that they claim that they hated. They can't fight against, they got a stake in this matrix. Hip-hop is just a fad to them. You didn't know? But for us, this is our living, breathing soul. And yeah, they might backpack in South America or even volunteer in an African village. But all said and done, when push comes to shove and hits the fan of middle class and British, and I ain't even dissing. That's just how it is. Most rich brown people are just as full of shit. So much more concerned with our cars and jewels than most of the world's poor looks just like you. So much more concerned with being privileged few. And who knows, maybe me too, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day that will turn us insane. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. It's not the poverty, it's the inequality we live with every day that will turn us insane.
Who's bad?
This is definitely better than the first one. And that last, so I'm not a song or a freestyle, but that last song really just like kind of left me speechless in a way. It was like I was just drawn into like listening about his life, and sort of like how he made it to where he is right now. You know, growing up with everything that he did, it's crazy. And for him to like come out the other side and sort of raise awareness versus glamorizing his struggle, I think it just speaks to his character. I you know, don't want to speak on any rapper that sort of does glamorize like the life, because like at the end of the day, you know, like you do you. You're an adult. I'm not going to tell people how to live their life. Everybody should live their life however they want, as long as they're not like hurting people, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's just you know, you can, you know, it's just crazy. You can tell he had a hard life. You can hear it through his bars. But this was Akala Fire in the Booth Part 2. I will react to Part 3. It's gonna be a long video. This was a long video. So I do apologize. But you know, when you have a conscious rapper, like you just, you know, you just think about life and like why, you know, how you grew up and how it relates to the song, and you just want to speak about it. So like, and that's why this video, this reaction is so long. So I hope you guys stuck through it, made it to the end. For those that did, let me know down in the comments. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.